There we go.
30th
Sketches.
Street, 30th Street, Columbia Studios, very famous room, fantastic room, great recordings of history were done there. Let's see, West Side Story, the Glenn Gould, Bach variations. So Columbia had the studio. Originally it was a church at the turn of the century. Columbia took it over in '49, and then it was torn down in '81. At least Columbia closed down the studio in '81, '82. But a lot of great recordings were done there, including the Sketches of Spain. And it was a huge room. The ceiling was like 100 feet, big space, beautiful space. And this recording was about 25 musicians for most of the pieces. And they were all recorded together in one room with minimal separation. We have original photos we referenced. And so we got the 3-track, it was an Ampex 303-track machine. And the famous question Noel asked me is, okay, what track is Miles on? And the answer is all of them, because they were all in the same room together, so there's leakage. So in general, on track 1 and track 3, there was a balance of the orchestra, not necessarily in stereo, but just so they'd have some control in the mix. And then Miles and the bass player were mostly on track 2. So we started off in the studio, Germano studio, right here also in the neighborhood, and just kind of did a balance of those 3 tracks, LCR across the front. And there was a lot of crazy edits that initially we had to balance out. I mean, the recording went over many months, from I think December of '59 to March of '60. So there's a lot of interesting edits. For example, on this one track, track 3, the level changes at the edit point, 20 dB. So we had to compensate for a lot of stuff like that. And so after I got the basic balances of the record from top to bottom, then Noel comes in. And I say, okay, we have 3 tracks, here's what's on them. And now we're trying to get into 5.1. And we had a nice transfer done 2496 with lab converters, the gold Mark IIs. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those 122s. And they sound awesome, that Sony provided us with. And then Noel came in and just said, okay, let's start, just panning stuff around. So basically, after I had the balance of the LCR in the front, we just took derivatives of each track and just started experimenting. Noel would say, okay, put 50% of the level in the center track over on this side. Okay, that sounds good. So Noel would call out these crazy percentages. He's like, I call him the crazy math genius audiophile. And as we started doing these experiments, weird things started happening. Like all of a sudden, okay, wait a minute. The trombones are coming from back here when I pan this over here. I'm not sure why, but we just keep experimenting, and there's no delays. It's just minimal EQ, and it's really fun to listen to for me as a Miles fan. And I should also tell you that Noel is the ultimate Miles fan. He has a painting of Sketches of Spain, an oil painting in his house. The cover of the original Sketches of Spain. That's how big of a fan he is. So.
Yeah, for sure. So let's give a hand for David for his passion.